Well, tubers, tubettes, and of course crazy people, I apologize once again for the eyewear. I'm still under doctor's orders, still light sensitive. I appreciate you guys understanding that. This video has been inspired by me being inundated recently with emails, messengers, and one-on-one conversations over coffee with guys whose sole purpose primarily is to come over to the Philippines and either live here or just come over here and meet somebody after they have been in what's called a long distance relationship with them online. And in this video, I want to unpack some of the positive things that have happened for the guys and some of the not so positive. And I want to explain how if I was the guy that was online talking to somebody, exactly how I would handle it. I'm not giving you guys advice as to what to do, just what I would do. And as a bonus in this video, I'm going to share a real life story that I witnessed that is, quite frankly, almost unbelievable. All right, here comes my goofy little video. All righty then, she's going to meet you at the airport, huh? All right, well, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you would know that I'm not a big fan of the long distance relationship and meeting them online prior to coming out here. But that's just my own preference. Plus, when I moved out here, meeting somebody wasn't my primary driver. Economic stability was, which I was able to achieve. Romance came about 2.5 years later after I arrived in the Philippines. But I'm in the minority. The majority of the guys that I chat with, and I've chatted with hundreds if not thousands over the years, has been they're interested in romance, meeting someone, having a significant other. They may always have been single, they may be divorced, they may be widowed, they're generally lonely, and they know that the opportunity to meet somebody compatible in the West is slim to none. And let's face it, boys and girls, slim left town. I've always said that women in the West are feminist and women in the East are feminine. Now I know that's painting the whole thing with a very broad brush, but you get my gist. And I don't think I'll find much disagreement. So I get it. If you're at home and maybe you're a year or two away from retirement, you're planning on coming out here, you're chomping at the bit, you get online because that's your driver. You want to meet somebody. And so you do. Maybe you talk to 100, 200, 300 women. Maybe you join a dating site. Maybe you join multiple dating sites. I don't know what you do, but you do it. And at one point in time, you may have come and connected with somebody that you feel is your soulmate and is one for you, and she feels the same way about you. And if that's indeed the fact or the truth, great, I'm happy for you. But I just think it's the wrong way to go about it. And it doesn't mean that you need to stop doing it because I think it's wrong, but I think it's only fair that I share my viewpoint and then you can draw your own conclusion from that. I came out here and kind of got boots on the ground, got myself set up, and like I said, I wasn't looking for anybody. But after I got settled in, after 4 or 5 days, I finally got an internet connection at this place that I was staying at for the first 6 weeks of my life here. And I decided one day, just very innocently, to be honest with you, to change my Facebook profile because I never used Facebook back in America. I never posted anything on Facebook. Maybe once in a while I'd put something up, a joke or something, but I only had like 30 friends. 20 of them were relatives and the other 10 were coworkers. And so that was my big Facebook profile. I had no idea that Facebook is like the lifeblood of social life out here in the Philippines. I had no clue. But one day I was just sitting around and I had nothing going on. And it was about the 4th or 5th day of my life here in the Philippines back in 2017. And so I changed my Facebook profile. I changed it from employed to retired. And I changed my location from Las Vegas to Dumaguete. Push the save button. Less than a minute went by before my phone started to fire off like crazy. Ding, 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 ding. I thought, what the hell is this? And I looked down, and within an hour, there were hundreds of friend requests, all from young, attractive females. The minute I changed it, I found out later they discovered fresh meat had just hit the Philippines. And they wanted to be the first one to get to them. And so, like a dummy, I think I accepted the first 100 or 200 that came on. I was just going, sure, sure, she's pretty, sure, 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 sure. Even though I wasn't looking for a woman, hey, I'm a red-blooded guy. They want to talk, I'll talk to them. What the hell? So anyway, I did all that. It didn't take me long to find out that if I talked to one girl, I'd talk to them all. They would all ask me the same goofy questions. Where you live, how old are you, what do you do, are you single, are you married? If I said, yes, I'm single, they would say, why are you single? If I said, no, I'm not married, they would say, why are you not married? And it would kind of like irritate me and piss me off. It's like, what do you call me, a liar? I mean, I'm not married because I'm not married. I'm single because I'm not married. You can't accept that? Why aren't you married? Why are you single? And then they would say things like, what's your name? It's like, how can you not know my name? You're starting a conversation with a man, strange man, you don't even know my name. Now, when I accepted their friend request, I would go into their Facebook profile and I would see their name, I would see their age, and I would see where they lived, which at the time was meaningless to me because I did not know one city other than Dumaguete, Cebu, and Manila. That was all I knew. You could have said Mindanao, and I didn't know if that was next door to Dumaguete or around the corner, or if it was 12 hours away, which is about what it is, and if not more. So I had no clue as to the proximity of these women to me and how easy it would be for us to, meet up and have a cup of coffee or anything. But they really they would ask me, do you want to go on cam? And I would say, sure. So I would go on the cam with them. And the minute they opened up the cam and my ugly face showed up, they would say, oh my God, you have such a beautiful smile. You have such beautiful hair. You're so guapo. You're so handsome. I love you. I want to live with you. I want to move in with you. And this was all within 10 minutes. And I'm thinking, you don't even know my... And then they would say things like, what's your name? And I would say, my name? You didn't look at my profile first? Like, I looked at hers. And the funny thing is, little sidebar here, is it seemed like 3 out of 4 women worked at this place called the Krusty Krab. This was back in 2017. And so on the profile, it was an occupation, Krusty Krab. And I didn't know what the Krusty Krab was. I thought it was a place like Jollibee. And so anyway, I was having these conversations and it became apparent to me over time. And then I asked a couple of ladies that were my neighbors at this place that I stayed at for 6 weeks before I finally got my apartment that I moved into for 2 years. I go, what's the deal with them, not knowing my name and saying that they want to? They go, well, you're new, you're fresh meat. They want to get you real soon before you get acclimated here. They want to take, because you don't know anything, and so the power is with them right now. If they can get a hold of you quick and get a hold of you fast, that's what they're looking to do. And so they're willing to do, say, just damn near anything, and or try to scam you out of money. As many women that didn't know my first name would swear that they wanted to come and live with me and take care of me and do this for me and do that for me, but they needed bus fare to get here. And it turned out that they were asking for about 25 times what a bus ticket actually cost to come out. And, you know, I didn't fall for that, thank God. But I've talked to a number of guys, way too many, by the way, that have gone ahead and sent that bus fare just to have it. You know, the girl never got on a bus, never intended to get on a bus. Or they would go there and the girl wouldn't show up. And so that's the whole deal there. Now, what I saw about this whole meet you at the airport was there were a lot of one-on-one conversations that I had with guys that I met, and they did have a long-distance relationship. Not some goofy Facebook thing like I just said. And by the way, the Krusty Krab is from a cartoon called SpongeBob SquarePants. Because the reason I found out is I asked some people at the place I was staying, I go, hey man, where's this Krusty Krab? I go, is that like Jollibee? And oh, they broke my balls relentlessly for weeks, these guys. They kept asking me, they told me what it was. And then every time I'd see them, they'd go, hey Paul, you had a Krabby Patty lately? And I go, oh, go screw yourself, you know. And so the Krusty Krab, that will always be in my head. So these girls wanted to get a hold of me while I was still young, dumb, and naive. Not still young, but fresh to the Philippines, young to the Philippines. Here's the dealio. If you are talking with somebody online and they want to meet you at the airport when you arrive, and you've talked to her for a couple of years and you really feel like you're her soulmate and she's yours, I think that's great, because I have had the conversations with people where that has indeed been the case. They have met, they have fallen in love online. When they met in person, they fell deeper in love with one another, and it was totally awesome. I still think it was wrong to meet her at the airport, and I'm going to get there in just a minute. The reason I'm going to get there in just a minute is when I got settled in out here, I became friends with a group of people. I would say there were 3 guys and 7 or 8 young ladies, and I was kind of getting my second childhood out of my system, or my midlife crisis. And I was running around doing things kind of out of my personality. Drinking, going out to bars, going to the one disco in town, doing this, doing that, hanging out and staying in the friend zone with all these people. But I was having a lot of good times. I was having a lot of fun with them. They were young, they were energetic, we were tipping back a couple, and I got to play for a short period of time the role of the big shot. I admit it, I had to get that out of my system. And the reason they wanted to hang out with me was not because of my sparkling personality, it was because I was the sponsor. Me and the other guys we would split the tab. And so these girls would come with us because they would get free beer, free food, free entrance to whatever club we were going to. In fact, there's only one club called the Why Not. So they would get to go in there, and we would sponsor them. There was one woman back in the day that I became friends with who had a higher than average intelligence. She was not gorgeous, but she was attractive. She was very small. She was very thin. She had a fantastic personality, and she had a great sense of humor. And here's why I fire this warning shot across your bow, because I witnessed this firsthand. She was on all these dating sites and all this Facebook. And she didn't do all the silly crap like what your name, where you live, what you do. No. When she talked to the guy, guess what? She knew his name. And she would say, hi, Bob, how are you? Boy, you look, how old are you? Oh, you're 63? Oh, okay, well, wow. You look really good for 63. She wouldn't say he was George Clooney. She was smart. She would say, boy, for 63, you look like you keep yourself in pretty good shape. And it was believable. And so these guys would say, hey, I'm coming out to check out the Philippines. I'm going to be there for a couple of 3 weeks. And she would say, well, great, why don't I meet you at the airport and I'll be your tour guide? And the guys would say, yeah, sounds good. Or I'm coming out there to live. How about I meet you at the airport? Didn't matter what their goal was. She would meet him at the airport. Why? Because she had total control. If the guy had an opportunity to be here by himself, he may have settled in and bumped into 2 or 3 other females that he was also interested in. But by her glomming onto him, she was dictating pretty much how his day went. She would take him to his hotel. She would help him get checked in. She would speak the lingo for him. She would take him out and show him how to change money. She would spend the night with him. She would avail herself of free dinners. He would inevitably buy her some shoes or a purse, or depending on the guy. I mean, I saw her get brand new iPhones. The list goes on and on and on. And then in the cases that I watched, 2 different guys, one came for 3 weeks, and boom, he left. And you know what she did? She stayed in touch with him after that, as if nothing had changed, that she still had feelings for him. And then he started supplementing her income and sending her monthly income because he was still working. He wasn't ready to retire yet. And what do you know? Boom. Boyfriend number 2 came to town, and she met him at the airport and parked him and did the same routine with him. And then when he went home, because both these guys were on recon missions, she stayed at, now she's got 2 guys working, and of course she had others from before going also. Then one guy came out and wanted to be her boyfriend, and she said, sure, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend. And she wouldn't move in with them because she had a child. And she would say, I have to stay with my mother. So no, I cannot. She never did the usual, which is move in with the guy at his place. She would come over to his place, but she never fully committed, which I thought was brilliant if you're running a scam like she was. And this guy took her to every island you can imagine. Her mother would watch the kid, and she was still talking to the other 2. And this guy stayed here for like a year, and she was able to keep up the facade. And when the guys would return to see her again, she would tell the main boyfriend that grandma was sick and she had to go to Manila. And she would just simply go to the hotel. And I said, I knew her. I said, are you not tripping out that your so-called boyfriend here is here and you're on the other side of town with some dude from Oklahoma and they're both here at the same time? She goes, it's kind of exciting, isn't it? So I said, okay. And I cut ties with her once I met May. Because even though she was fun and all this, that, and the other, just the morality of it all kind of wore on me. I did not like seeing the guys being taken advantage of like that. I was also dedicating a lot more time to May. And so when it comes to meeting you at the airport, if you have been in a long-term relationship with the woman and you intend to meet up with her and you guys feel that you're the one, here's the reason why I don't think you should let her meet you at the airport. And it's kind of superficial, but I think it'll make sense. If it was me and I was really in love with the girl and she wasn't anything like the girl I just described who had 2 guys here at the same time, but she really was a sincere, nice, sweet, good-natured soulmate. When I meet her, I would want to be in the best possible mental and physical condition possible. I am going to have been on a plane for anywhere from 30 to 40, 45 hours. if I'm coming from the States. Between delays, I don't know if you've got a direct flight. You may have 2 layovers that last forever. At the end of the day, if I'm coming here from America and I'm going to be meeting somebody, I want to meet her on my terms when I feel comfortable, clean, and rested. I know that when I get off that plane, I'm going to stink. My breath is going to stink. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be hungry. And I'm going to be irritable. And I just want to get the hell off that metal tube that I've been stuck in for 20 some odd hours and get some air. So if it was me and I was going to be meeting Baby May, because her and I had a long distance relationship, I would get here and I would tell her I'm going to be coming next week. I would have to tell a little fib and not let her know the exact day that I'm arriving. Not because I want to check out other women, even though there's nothing wrong with that. I would want to be able to get into a hotel, get some sleep, get some shut-eye, rest up, get a meal inside of me, take a shower, change over some money, unpack, get the lay of the land, maybe take a second day and just kind of stretch my legs, make sure I like the place, see it. There's an old story that I have where I was once trying to find some kind of marine sanctuary. And I went out with a person all day long looking for the marine sanctuary. And for love or money, we spent 4 or 5 hours on a motorbike looking for this damn marine sanctuary. And I can guarantee you, there's no sign that says there's a marine sanctuary, turn left. It's not like Disneyland where there's an off-ramp. Since then, obviously, I have found it. But when I got home that day, and I was with this friend of mine, and I was all depressed, and she said, "What's the problem?" And I said, "Well, we spent all day and we didn't find the marine sanctuary." And I really wanted to find the marine sanctuary. And her words to me were, "You know what, Paul? The marine sanctuary will be here tomorrow. And you're retired. And so will you." And that hit me like a ton of bricks of wisdom. And I said, you know what? This little girl is right. It was a friend of mine that I'd made when I first came out here. And I said, she's so right. And it taught me 2 words that I've been preaching ever since I've been on YouTube. Slow down. I had to tell myself, slow down. That is what I'm trying to relate to you in this video. Slow down. Get into town. Take that shower. Sleep for 14 hours. Get a meal inside of you. Because like the marine sanctuary, that love of your life that you've been talking to for 2 years will be here tomorrow, and so will you. All right, kids, I'll see you in the next video.